The presentation of today's racing program is a copyrighted broadcast of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated. Any rebroadcast, recreation, or retransmission of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Live Racing at Aqueduct. At this time, we ask that you please rise, remove your hats, and turn your attention towards the infield and the flag for the playing of today's national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Live Racing from Aqueduct. The track is fast. Here are today's early changes. In race 1, scratch the 4 Bold Victory. The 7 is 1 pound overweight. Race 2, rider change on the 1 Merchants of Cool, Luis Rodriguez Castro. Race 3 is clear, no changes. Race 4, no changes. Race 5, scratch the 1 Hot Latte. Rider change on the 1A Trevor McCarthy. The 1A corrected weight is 118. Rider change on the 9 He-Man Harkey +1. Front shoes off the 9 in today's 5th. Rider change on the 10 Eric Fuentes. The 12 is +1. Scratch the 14 Dear Faith. Rider change on the 15 Jacqueline Davis. Race 6, rider to be announced on the 5. Race 7, rider change on the 4, make it Luis Cardenas. Scratch the 10, Tweaked. Race 8, scratch the 1, 7 Lilies. The 6 races with no whip again. Rider change on the 11, make it Dylan Davis. Race 9 is clear. Race 10, the 1 is +1. The 2 races with front shoes on. The 3 is +1. Scratch the 4, Giant Bottle. The 13 is +1. Scratch the 14, Jackie's a Fox. Scratch the 15, Get Your Gold. Scratch the 16, Half Birthday. Those are today's early changes. The track is fast. 75 minutes away from race 1. Coming up next, we'll be talking horses with your hosts, Andy Serling and the Big A, Anthony Stabile.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Talking Horses.
That's two times this
Big
week.
A, Anthony Stabile. I am Andy Sterling. My tie looks like electric
Did you
on
just?
TV.
I thought you looked down to see if you.
Because it looks like it's like glowing or something,
I
doesn't
thought maybe
it?
you wrote your name on your PPs. I am Andy Sterling.
It's
yes,
not.
it does. It looks neon.
It's not, but it's not. It's kind
Hold
of
on,
like.
shut the lights off. Let's see if this thing glows in the
It's
dark.
kind of like flat. It's a flat. Is it not a flat blue?
I love it.
It's a
It's
flat
great
blue.
color.
Okay,
I got a
thanks.
couple of
Looks
shirts. That would
better on TV than it does when I'm looking at it. Anyway.
That disappears out of your office. You know where it
or
went.
worse, depending how you look at it. Anyway, great card today. A lot to talk about. 10 races, 100 betting interests on today's
Love it.
card. Honestly, an incredible day of racing here at Aqueduct. Very excited about it. Go to Naira Bets if you're not a member. We will match for $200 of your initial deposit. Use the promo code STAKES200.
That's what the one's for
Late
today.
for
100
Naira
betting
Bets.
interests.
100. There you go. There you have it. And speaking of Stakes 200, we've got the $10,000 worth of hit and splits on select pick fours.
It is the pick 4 at Aqueduct, Gulfstream in Tampa, the cross country pick 5. I have posted tickets for all 4 wagers over at NairaBets.com under the expert picks page.
There you go. All right. We also have the cross country pick 5, which you mentioned, Tampa race 10, races 8 and 9 here, interspersed with the 2 stakes at Oaklawn, the Whitmore, and the Essex Handicap. All of those races will be shown on America's Day at the Races. And finally, America's Day at the Races, 3:30 to 7. Join us all, the whole team. Greg, Maggie, and I are here, and Jonathan and Gary are interspersed, floating around the country. I think Gary actually has landed safely in Arkansas, or been in Arkansas.
Jacques won 2 races yesterday down there, Giovanni Franco.
He's a good rider.
He is a good rider.
He's actually a very good rider.
He is.
You know, I mean, if you look at him, he doesn't have the business, and this isn't a function of Gary. It's just harder to get the business. He
Tough
doesn't
to get a business.
have
That's
the
a
same
good
kind
colony.
of contacts as others, and he's doing great. No, he's a very good rider.
Very good
I'm
rider.
impressed by him.
Yeah.
Race number 1, well, Bold Victory came out. So yesterday was probably one of the largest move-ups I've seen on a horse in a long, long time. That off the claim, that horse ran 19 buyer points faster. And we're talking about, what's that horse's name? Majestic something?
Tiger.
Majestic Tiger, who would never run higher than a 60 buyer in the dirt. Somehow, off the claim for Wayne Potts, ran a 79 buyer. So I guess the plan is to just pick every single horse that he enters at this point. And especially that's a trainer change. So you've got We Ready's up. I'm sure that's why you picked him, unless you either have a tip or you picked him for that reason.
of
Because
course I picked him
that
for
was
that
the most
reason.
improbable. That was the most improbable move up I think I've ever seen. That was. I'm sorry.
come
That
on,
was with
man.
Toby
That's
Sheets.
ridiculous.
No, I'm not being ridiculous. That was
on,
with Toby
Andy.
Sheets for years. Toby, I guess you just completely got it wrong. That was.
Well, they turf sprinted him 5 times, and then Wayne stretched him out yesterday.
Stop, Anthony. Stop, please.
I'm not going to stop, man.
Stop. Stretched him
He
out.
stretched him out.
Toby, if he had only run of a mile,
I'm
he
not
could have
saying
run.
Toby
He
did
could have run
anything
10
wrong.
legs better.
He broke out of the
I'm
gate
betting Wayne
yesterday,
Potts.
too.
I'm betting all the Wayne Potts horses.
So do it.
I'm sorry. Why did you pick this horse?
Oh, I picked
Because
this
you've
horse.
never liked this horse, and I
picked
pick him
this
every
horse-
time.
Hold on a second.
No, you've never liked
I
this
picked
horse.
this horse off a trainer change.
There you go. 2 Wayne Potts.
Yes.
Right.
No
That's
offense-
fine. But let's.
No offense to Joe Parker, but for 5 magical weeks 4 years ago,
It's
Joe
not a question
Parker's
right.
percentage
had
is not
horses
that
that were
high.
running as well as that horse ran yesterday. Maybe not that well, but close. Well, I mean, when I saw that move up
I think you're
yesterday,
being a little ridiculous.
What? Well,
But that's me. That's me.
I'm not being ridiculous. Well, why else would you pick this horse? He's
No. I'm just talking about in general yesterday. That horse broke from the gate yesterday, got a good trip, and wanted the mile.
No,
I think that horse wants to go even longer.
No, they should run him 6 miles. The way he ran, he probably could run again tomorrow. I disagree, and I think that was one of the biggest move-ups I've seen in a long, long time.
Okay.
And I think a lot of
We'll agree to disagree like we
I think
do
a
on a
lot
daily
more
basis.
people, a lot more people would agree with my assessment
Okay.
than yours.
Doesn't make them right, but okay.
Anthony,
That's fine.
that horse improved
He
immeasurably.
did. Obviously, he
This
did.
is a funny race because
Yes.
without Bold Victory in there really isn't a lot of form.
No.
And I like We Ready because I'm not sure what Eric was doing with him last time, but he's not that slow. And the problem that Eric Cancel has is he loses contact with the field far too often. When he doesn't, and he's aggressive and he gets horses in the game, is when he rides well. When he rides like he did with this horse last time, loses contact. This horse has had some trips. He's caught these wet tracks. He gets back to a fast track. He's a very logical horse in this race
Very
regardless. But with the switch now to Wayne Potts, especially, and the interesting thing with the Wayne Potts barn is they couldn't get out of their way for 3 months. Literally could not get out of their way. Suddenly, a few weeks ago, a month ago, their horses started running again. culminating with yesterday's performance. And after this horse, I mean, who are you supposed to go
And with
to
the
here?
with the scratch, he's obviously going to be half the price, if not less than
And
that.
I think after yesterday, he's going to be even a shorter price.
Where else do you want to go? There's not a lot of pedigree on the 2 left on Boylston, but I put this horse second just for the simple fact that
You're a Red Sox fan.
there's yeah, exactly. It's also a reference. Is that a reference to the poem in The Freshman that Matthew Broderick reads? Small and Brando.
You're giving me way too much credit. We should move on.
Anyway.
This horse actually does have some pedigree. It's just turf pedigree. He's a half the turn of events. Is a very nice
That's
turf
what I should have
horse.
said. He
And
didn't
there's
have a lot of
actually
dirt
some
pedigree.
decent dirt horses. I'm sorry, they're bad dirt horses.
Yeah.
It's really more turf. This is not Michelle's forte. I think a light is a little bit interesting. Didn't run that badly last time out in that race. It's hard to really find horses that have any particular form.
If you're going to
especially
use
without
total
full
effort,
victory.
I mean, if you're going to be ready, don't you have to use total effort based on the Wayne Potts theory?
Well, this is based on your theory. It's not a barn change. So
That's
no,
true.
it's not a barn
Okay.
change. He's had this horse,
All right.
and when this horse last ran, they were winning races. Though
Horse
I
is
know
getting
it was
back
in
to
the
a fast
cusp.
track. Core Conviction and Waxman, the only time this horse ran on
It's
a fast
also
track.
Trevor McCarthy. Is Heman Harkey the one?
No, it's Joe. It's Jose Gomez.
I wrote the wrong. Remind me which the Heman Harkey switch was because I got the wrong race.
Gotcha.
Race number 2. Race number 2 is a bring back, but with slightly different horses in here because I don't think Texas Basin was entered in this race when we originally
Correct.
scheduled it. Where'd you go in here?
I went to Mo Mischief. I had a tough time. This was kind of a cop out pick. Double Shot was supposed to win the way he won last time if he returned from the layoff right. He did. And he just kind of makes the most sense to me. I really didn't love anybody in here. You had Magnificent Chrome, was a great pick. Last time was the time. Do you really trust Texas Basin? Conformist, I mean, he's just gotten, he's gotten easy leads and he's stunk.
Why don't we show Magnificent Chrome? I forgot to send the trainer stat in for this, but we'll show his last race.
This was a fantastic. This is a good pick, and this horse got a good ride. And
He got a good ride.
yeah, he got a really good ride.
For what it's worth, Randy Persaud off a win. We talk about how his horses can be a tad unreliable at times, and that's being kind. He's had a very good winter in reality. He's 2 for 48 off a win on the dirt. He's 1 for 30 off a win in a dirt sprint. So he is about as classic a last time was the time horse as you can find. Now, having said that, frankly, if he runs this race or he runs his race,
He's going to be right there.
He's going to be tough to beat. He's just extremely hard to trust in this race. I like Double Pour. I mean, to be honest, I kind of went back in the direction that I went last time. I mean, Conformist, I think, is a bit dangerous in the front end because he is the controlling speed. But I think Double Pour, I mean, we saw it yesterday in the second race yesterday. I talked about it going in. Jeffrey Engelhardt had been 3 for 3, and it's a small sample, but he was 3 for 3 off the claim at Aqueduct in the last 3 months.
David put up a new stat, a 5 for 7 stat?
Well, he's
similar?
4 for 4 off the claim in dirt
Yeah.
sprints at Aqueduct over the last 3 months. So, after yesterday's win. So, I mean, why not go to this horse? He's always run okay, and I don't think he ran badly on wet tracks, but it's not going to hurt him that the track is dry
Not at
today.
all.
And unfortunately, there were all these reports it was going to rain all day, and it never came.
It was supposed to rain
thankfully.
overnight, and it was supposed to stop right around now, but it never
It
happened.
never happened. Never happened.
I missed it. It was foggy last night. I came home late last night. It was foggy last night.
Great workout's been running against better horses, but he's been bad. He can win this race. I mean, I could use any of the 4, 5, and 6. I didn't like your horse. We'll see what happens in race 2.
Okay.
Race number 3. I know one thing in race number 3.
What do you know, Andy?
I know it's Wayne Potts off the claim, so I guess I can expect the horse to run well. But I can't pick Magnetron after this chandelier act last time.
This Magnetron's got to feel like a kid whose parents are divorced, right? Wayne Potts, actress. Wayne Potts, actress. He just keeps going back and forth. It's like he spends 1 week in one barn, 1 week in the other
How
barn.
did he not win this
How
race?
about 3 of his last 4? Neck, nose, head.
Yeah. No, it's a problem accident.
Problem.
And
He
then you
doesn't
look at
win.
him and you see he's through. Well, Snicket won yesterday at 6 to 5.
Snicket galloped yesterday at 6 to 5.
Isn't that the way she was going to win? She
Yep.
wasn't going to win a dogfight.
she's never going to win a dogfight.
There was a horse that won at Oaklawn later in the day that was one of those horses that was switching to Chris Hartman, whose horses are running extremely well down there as well. Listen, the way Wayne Potts' barn horses are running, he'll probably win today, but I can't take this horse after that chandelier act last time.
He is very, very tough to trust.
I remember, I think there were 8 claims in him. This was a race that you and I bet on claims, and there were no claims, and that horse got scratched. We bet the horse got scratched.
Right.
But there were 8 claims on him, and after the race, I sort of left the office. They said, we're going to see who wins the claim, and I said, wins. We're going to see who loses and gets. I mean, I guess he can win. I just
Of course he can win.
can't take him in here.
No, I couldn't
so why
take
do you like Speedy Kid?
I thought he's in for the 10, but I felt like the 10 he ran against last time they're killers compared to this bunch. And
most of this field is coming out of 8s.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like he's running for the same price in his class relief, and it's first time Bill Moore.
Yeah, it's funny with William Moore. His horse, is it Bill Moore? Is it Bill?
I think it is.
Okay, I mean, I don't want to, assume, and I know you're friends with everybody, so.
Yeah.
But you and Bill haven't. Bill
Bill.
don't have a friendship yet. He's
yet.
not on speed dial.
No.
Well, you should work on that. There is no more speed dial, right? Because it's just all names.
You kind of
The
I
whole
mean,
thing.
you just go into your
There's
phone.
no such thing as speed dial anymore.
I have a lot of numbers memorized.
Well,
I have a good memory.
you probably have a rotary phone at home.
No, not
Dial-up
anymore.
modem on the computer.
No, not anymore. I
Got rid of a couple weeks ago.
Got rid of it a few weeks ago.
Maury's horses started out on fire here.
Yeah.
He's been very quiet, though. He hasn't run that many horses, but I think, didn't he win like 4 of his first 5 or something?
4 of 7 or something like that.
Maybe even, yeah, it just feels like he's kind of quieted down. I kind of took him off the claim, and the same as you, think running against better horses.
He's running against better horses.
Like you, I've got the 5 in there because I want to put the Jeffrey Engard horses in there. I don't want to make a trainer handicapping, but these guys' horses are running, and I mean, to deny that they're running well is foolish.
And he's going to be enough of a price where the Magnetrons and the Summer Bourbons of the world, who we've seen enough of. This horse is a little bit of a fresh face.
Don't you think
the
Summer
barn's
Bourbon,
going well.
7 furlongs might be asking a lot.
Yeah, that's
Frankly,
what I mean. I mean, there's a lot.
He should have won last time.
Yeah.
I bet the winner, but he should have won.
Yeah, I mean, this horse has some foundation. He has he has the 2-turn race on his
Concert.
card. I know it was a
Heading out
while ago. No, absolutely
fan.
not.
Never heard of him.
Absolutely
He looks
not.
older than me.
You never heard of Ambrosia?
Ambrosia?
Yeah.
Oh, it's vaguely. Honestly,
I've
you're
heard of the band.
a guy
I
who's
don't
been
know who
to,
the guy is.
who's been to 450 concerts in his life, and 400 of them were basically the same 2 bands or related
I've been to
bands.
about 300 shows myself.
Well, I saw a lot of shows as kids too, going to SPAC and stuff when
Okay.
I was a kid and different things like that. Race number 4, as we move along. At the end of the day, in race number 4, 42 Ace is just way the horse to beat. We'll take a look at, I think I brought up his last race where he lost, but he lost to Dr. Ardito, who was a Chad Brown horse off a long layoff, who, like all these Chad Brown horses, his horses are also running great. The meet, and he had good form coming in, and he showed up and ran great here.
And this horse,
Great form, this
he
horse.
didn't. I know this is more Dr. Ardito running away from him than 42 Aces really. 42 Ace really stopping.
Well, his figure of 78 was a little worse than the one before it. I don't know how much worse the race was. Time Form had the races the same. To be fair, he's in good form. Do you worry at all with Invest in here? He's going to get outrun a little bit on the front end. That worries me a little bit because I have to think that Louis Rodriguez is going to be aggressive with Invest, do the same thing.
I
he did
don't
last
disagree,
time.
but I mean, he alternated on the lead 2 back.
No, but it worries me if he gets a little outrun. I'm not saying.
Maybe.
I'm not. I didn't lose sleep over it.
Right. Well, you didn't pick him. You took a little shot against him.
I picked a goofy horse in here. This is one of these races where I had a goofy idea on a horse, and I thought, might as well take a shot with my goofy idea on top of the one.
I really thought about taking Cut the Cord. But
he's interesting.
But this horse's last 2 races is just, off the.
Well, that's
these
the
last
thing.
2
You're
races
sort
are
of
just too good.
And let me ask you a question: is he really going to be 6-1 in here? Because aren't a lot of people going to look and go, "Oh, this horse has been running in stake races."
Yeah, I mean,
he's a little stake faced.
He's going to be bigger priced than Umbria. I find that kind of hard to believe, right?
Umbria could win this race.
Umbria could win the race, but I would imagine Umbria got beat by Blitz to win on the dirt.
Well, Blitz to win ran okay that day.
Yeah, he did, but
He actually ran. Was that the horse? No, that was a different horse. He beat the horse that I bet yesterday. It ran a career best by her. Got beaten 4 lengths by Majestic Tiger.
I want 1s and a little 4 in here.
Yeah, I look at Cut the Cord too, and he can win this race. But did he really do much running in those races?
That was the problem. The blinkers, the Lasix, at the end of the day, did he do a lot of running?
And the 2-back race looks even better.
The little
and
stakes
you watch
face.
it, and it's just the race was sort of falling apart at the end. He was sucked into it. Having said that, he can win.
Running against older horses now. Yeah, that's why I said, 42 Aces in too good a form. I'll
I'm like you. I kind of looked at him as the first alternative. As far as Forever Wicked, Randy Persaud's record off the claim is sensational. The numbers are huge. Here's his race 2-back. And I don't think you'll disagree with me. If he runs this race 2 back, now, speaking of races, I have no idea where they came from.
He'll be right there.
Where the heck did this effort come from him 2 races back?
No
Because,
clue.
I mean, it isn't even remotely. Frankly, it's not quite as big an improvement as Majestic Tiger, but it's up there in bigger improvements. This horse made a gigantic run, finished second. There he is moving. I don't know if it's the right race. That wasn't the right race. I don't know. You know, it's possible. I might have sent in the wrong. No, I sent in the right one. Whatever. Whatever. We had some issues, but his number. Okay, they are much better. He's 1 for 15 at a mile or over. But think of that second with that Mark Hennig horse. I bet he ran second off the claim. Infringement. Is that the horse?
Yep.
I should have the exact, and I was sleeping on it. Heavy favorite, won the race. The exact paid good. That horse moved up gigantic off the claim for Randy. Whatever it is, Randy's horses are running off the claim. This horse has a race 2 back.
The
that
trainer
makes
changed,
him.
even if the trainer changed, that horse that maiden that won and then ran second to the Actress
Son of a gun.
Speed.
Son of a gun. He just ran. We just showed him. He ran third behind 42 Ace.
Yeah.
Well, he's continuing to run well. So I thought, you know what? I'll put
Son
him
of
on
an
top.
X.
I don't love him, but I think he's interesting in there. And his race 2 back gives him a chance. Race number 5, I picked a ridiculous horse in race number 5.
Aristophanes ridiculous.
Let's
this is Aristophanes ridiculous. Wow.
Aristophanes. Somebody put that up on Twitter, like a clip of it on Twitter the other day. The old Odd Couple clip for the 3 of you out there that don't know what we're referring to. Never Early. Let me ask you a question. We'll show Never Early's race at Monmouth, the horse you have on top. You get the feeling they scratched the 1. Like, I don't know the story, and I could find out. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, not at
Did
all.
they know there was a scratch in the race, because he's second AE, that he could get in if they scratched the plain 1?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because, I mean, listen, the plain 1's a firster. Who knows? Maybe he can run. But you look at this horse, and you think, isn't he the one they want to run? But, Anthony.
You know, it's funny you said that, Andy, because part of the reason I put the entry on top. And I've been trying to stay away from that because the more you bring it up,
Well,
the more
there
I
was
see
almost
your
no
point.
way they both were going to run here, though.
And that's why I did.
That's why I put him
Because I said
second
to
or third
myself,
round.
I said, Self, if Hot Latte stays in, with the chance of scratching to let Never Early in, he can probably run a little bit.
But Double Thunder's not that bad a horse, and now they're running him for 20. Now, I understand that horse yesterday, what's his name? He only got an 82 buyer. He ran like a length and a half better than Majestic Tiger. What's his name? The claim that Charlie Baker claimed. For
Prisoner.
Prisoner. It's a good name for a horse that takes none. This drop down has a bit of an odor to me.
I don't agree.
Well,
I'm gonna tell
you're
you why.
wrong. It has a bit of an
I'm gonna
odor.
tell you why.
I'm not saying he's not going to win.
I'm going to tell you why I
Anthony,
don't
it has
agree.
an odor to it.
I'm going to tell you why I don't agree. It's the middle of March.
Doesn't matter.
It's time to start clearing out for the 2-year-olds.
He could give the horse to Rudy.
He did give the horse to Rudy.
Oh, and he's still in for 20. Rudy's clearing out for the 2-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
What's he getting? 70 this year?
Rudy gets 32-year-olds over here.
Okay, and they'll go to Saratoga.
Yeah, but people don't want to. You don't want to carry as many. Andy, it's expensive to carry as many horses as you used to. I think.
So they think
this horse,
we could have won the Bayshore with him, but let's clear him out for 20.
Is this horse This horse is probably not 100%, but do I think this
We're
is
going
complete?
what you're saying is not nonsensical, but we'll have to agree to disagree. I'll tell you the most incredible thing about this race. Look at the sire of the 12.
Wow.
Did you know he was standing at stud?
No.
There were 2 back-to-back days, and he was one of them.
Wow.
Takeover target.
In Louisiana.
Yes.
Wow.
So the interesting horses are obviously the 1A is very dangerous in here. The 6 Run White Rabbit, who actually ran well last time in that race, and is a very, very. You've got the 6 completely left out.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that guy's horses right now.
I think Pepito's the joke in this race. I just think he's bad. I'm just not a fan of that horse.
Okay.
I mean, he's coming out. I don't know. He lost to a horse who was the other speed last time. Was 14-1. Was a Talia Lynch firster. I just think this. I'm not a fan. Bird Ruler, a little bit dangerous in this race, obviously, but I'm not really sure how much. I mean, this horse ran against Crowded Trade. I'm not sure he's any good. You know, and they took to Penn National. I know they went long, but my gosh, he was terrible in there. The 9 probably can't run, and the 9 is not exactly a big horse, to say the least. But this is a dirt pedigree. This is after Park Avenue. And I'll tell you one thing he does have. He has speed. Because this horse was chasing a fast pace on the turf. And it's a trainer change, going to the right surface.
This is Harkey.
Dropping. Oh, this is the one that's Harkey?
This is Harkey.
Thank you. He's supposed to be aggressive. He's supposed to be fast. Do I love this horse? Am I going to make a big bet on him? No. But I'm going to lose $30, $40 on this horse. Fooling around with this horse is probably a fool's gold. But let me put it this way. I agree with you. If the 1A shows up, he's probably going to win. I don't trust him. Who am I supposed to be afraid of?
Nobody.
Here? I mean,
Fear does not exist in this dojo.
All right, we're done with the first half, but we got lots more fun to come.
Who you betting on? How about an app created specifically for horse racing? Naira Bets. We specialize in thundering hooves, fist pumping, and boosting your bankroll with robust weekly promotions. And offer betting tips from actual horse racing experts. Bet all day and night, nationwide. Get the action and thrill of horse racing with Naira Bets.
We're back. You have to realize, Ed and I abuse each other even when we're not on the air. So anyway, race number 6. Race number 6 is a very, very good New York bred maiden race. I think you will agree.
I do.
Tin Pan Alley. The biggest upset today was Anthony does not have Tin Pan Alley on top. That was like the biggest upset of the day.
That's not Seth.
Oh, it's not a clarification. So first of all, this horse broke a length slow at the start. I don't know if this horse really brushed. I just thought the horse broke a little slow, and Irad took the horse back. I will say, this horse ran. And considering what Rotney has done, winning 2 straight races, including a stake, it enhanced this horse even more. This is a very legit horse.
Yeah.
And the way the horses are running from this barn, I'll be surprised if he doesn't run well. He may not win, but I'll be very surprised if he doesn't run well.
I was going to put him on top, but then I remembered that.
Yeah, you saw he wasn't Seth, and he wasn't a
Klarovich. It wasn't Klarovich, so I said,
Right. You know, Peter's
Look at
not
that Peter Brandt guy.
Peter's
It's not a wrestling. It's not a wrestling
nearly
name.
as nice as you as
Tin
Seth is.
Pan Alley. Would this be a vaudevillian name?
Wasn't Tin Pan? Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I don't know. I'm leaving you that. After I already got embarrassed with
Kowalski.
Kowalski. Yeah. I can't believe that guy.
That's great.
I thought he was like an educated guy. I gave him way too much credit.
Easy now. Yeah, I mean, I thought about picking this horse on top, but I had to pick the pick. I had to pick the tip from last time back.
You had a tip on this horse last?
We had a tip on this horse.
He ran actually a little better than most of your tips. He didn't lose by 20 lengths.
Yeah. So
You had a tip on this horse last time?
We did. Yeah. I think it happened after the show.
Yeah, because this is a tough
I think it
race.
happened after the show.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing about this horse was that they ran him against opens. So they really wanted, maybe they wanted to get him a race as well. I'll tell you one thing, he broke a little slow. I wish he did a little running.
I know, but I had a push. They ran him open. Now he's in the state bred race.
He didn't do any running, man. I'm going to use him. I've got him in there. I'm not, but.
I mean, we see the race pretty similarly. We're both taking a little shot against Tin Pan Alley.
We probably picked the first 3 choices, and here would be my guess. Yes. Well, I mean, the horse that ran last time outside of Tin Pan Alley with more recency is Modern Midas. And we'll show the start of his race. He is the number 3 in here. And he actually breaks fine, and he gets just completely and totally stayed out.
Yeah.
We're going to show you actually the head-on. And we got 10 races today and a whole lot of stuff to talk about, so I didn't bring the rest of the race in. Watch what happens. They come over on him, and there was like a chain reaction.
A couple of times.
So this was not a horse that in any way broke badly, or it's not like one of these horses you worry about and stuff.
He just got knocked around.
He got in legit, and he made a serious run to get in contention. Now, I know Best Idea blew up here the other day, but I don't think that changes that was a very fast race.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that.
I also don't think he's going to be 8-1.
I don't disagree with that either.
I mean, he ran 3 buyer points worse than Chad's horse.
The way that Chad horses are running, isn't this horse going to get a bet off the board?
Well, yeah, but this horse ran 3 buyer points lower, and he had a trouble trip. And it's not like he was a huge price that day. So I don't know. And the other thing is, unless there's some firster in here that's going to take money. Now, you've got Gold Bullion. Well, I don't really see that horse taking money. I did. I did call a friend of mine, you'll laugh at this, and say to him, so the 3 My Golden Vow is a Brody's Cause and a half to 6 horses that couldn't run at all. How did you miss paying $290 for this horse in sales?
Out of an unraced dam. Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Right. I mean,
I think this might be the first Brand Jam horse with George Weaver as well. I'm not mistaken.
I didn't look up the workout. I'll ask Maggie. Maggie usually looks at the Timonium Works, and if she hasn't already,
A
she'll
lot of the
look before she
pedigree in
comes
here
on.
was turf, right? The 9 Laws is turf.
Well,
the 10 Touch of Buzz.
I'll give you a funny. Speak of Chad Brown. I didn't love the workout on a Touch of Buzz, 10/5. The 9 Laws, the dam. Do you remember the dam?
Yeah.
She was trained by
Rick Violet.
Chad Brown for Joe Rosselli and Joe
When was
Joe Rucci.
Chad
Joe Rucci
had her?
was. Chad had her. And she was okay, but she was a turf horse. She was more of a turf 7 furlong horse. The 10 is a half to a Klarovich horse that Chad Brown owned.
This is the one you were talking about yesterday, right? Unlock the Potential?
You Unlock the Potential, right, who ran in, some may remember this race, there was a crazy tough maiden race at Saratoga at the end of the meet that CZ Rocket won his debut for Al Stall. He paid $15, and Unlock the Potential was in that race. It's just kind of funny seeing them together. But I don't see a firster in this race. I mean, I guess the Weavers are the most, I guess the most interesting in theory would be the 3, right? A year ago, they paid a ton of money for this horse, 10 months ago.
Yeah. By the way, very
have worked
briefly,
well.
for those of you that asked me, John Atfield, assistant trainer for Kelly Breen, put together a little support for Ukraine. So the yellow and blue vet wraps, that's what that's all
Yeah, those are
about.
great. Yeah, those are
That's what
great.
that's
The
about.
wraps and the horses.
We did
Naira's
it,
made those
all
available.
the horsemen did it yesterday,
Yeah.
today, and I believe tomorrow as well.
Yeah, that is an excellent thing, and thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, Naira made those available to all the horses.
Chaplaincy
So you'll see
and
those
Naira, yeah.
yellow and blue. Correct. Chaplaincy is opening. They're a grand opening
Yep.
a week from Monday. Correct.
I want to say the
28th,
28th
yes.
or the 29th?
28th. Well, the 29th is the rain date, I believe.
There you go.
Race number 7. Well, Tweaked came out. I don't know where you were on Tweaked, but
I had him second.
I thought Tweaked was very much the horse to be.
Mm-hmm.
The speed in here, and just thought was very logical. Not going to play. I thought this race a big mess. I agree with you on Lanfranco File. My problem with Lanfranco File is I bet the horse last time. I picked the horse and bet it 28-1, and moronically didn't have the exacta, which was totally my fault because I'm an idiot. And he's just going to be a fraction of the price. She's going to be a fraction of the
Yeah,
price
it's going to be
today,
a short
so I
price
can't
today.
go
It'll be
back.
a shorter price today.
Yeah, I can't go back to her, but I got no problem with her.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have really. This was a little bit of a spread race for me. Like I said, there's tickets up for all the 4 wagers involved in the hit and split. Using 1, 6, 7, and 8 in here.
No
I really
nines?
couldn't-
Isn't the 9?
Yeah, the 9's like the 4th horse in. I don't
Isn't
know.
he the better of the
that
two
was a
Rudies?
bad race, wasn't it, Andy?
Does Bob Edwards know that you went to
I
you
just
left him
texted
out of
with
the top
Bob,
4?
actually. But every time I call Bob, he thinks I butt dial.
Probably a lot of people butt dial Bob. What do you want from me? This is the better of the 2 Rudies. I'm going to say right now, this is the better of the 2 Rudies.
Oh, maybe.
So, I'll bet you 2 lunches that the 9 beats the 6.
No, I'm not gonna. I don't have enough of an opinion on this.
You don't want to root against lunches against Bob.
Can't root against Bob.
Nah, that's true. You make a great point. My feeling actually on this race, Anth, is that it's actually a really interesting race. And I think there are a lot of super live horses in this
Okay.
race. And I don't want to go on too long. Not live. There aren't a lot of.
We can't go on too long.
There aren't too many good horses in this race. And when I have races like this, I think it opens it up to try to be a little creative. So one of them is Rosemary Potatoes, off the claim from Chad Summers. The horses off the claim from Chad Summers have very strong record. And this is a horse that did start out his career running a recent race. Now, obviously, off the recent form, this horse will be 500th in this race. But I'm going to use the horse a little bit.
It's far back.
A little bit. 480th? You tell me. However, Kingdom Queen. Take a look at Kingdom Queen.
You're gonna get John McCallum in this winner's circle this winter.
I haven't picked.
No, I'm just. They'll get a little honorable mention sometimes.
No, I haven't picked this horse.
No?
Well, let me ask you a question. You think if this horse runs the race, it ran 3 or 4 back, it can't win here?
No.
Okay. So last time out, the horse ran in the suspended campaign race going a mile against those horses. That was a clever spot. Okay? The time before that, the horse was wide, and that was a race that was dominated inside. And frankly, didn't run well, but didn't run that badly. Didn't have particularly a great trip. Now, I worry a little bit. The last race, even against better horses, was bad. And maybe this horse has just lost the form it had. But the race is 3 and 4 back. Forgetting about the connections, and listen, it doesn't hurt Jackie Davis is on because
No.
Jackie's probably been the best long shot rider at this meet. And she's out there riding hard. Not to say everybody's riding hard, but you going to tell me this horse has no chance on some of those races?
Right. No, those two races.
Those two races make this horse a player in here.
Yeah.
And because of the connections, this horse is guaranteed to be a
And
big
they all
horse.
kind of look the same. So if you want to bet a 15 to 1 shot,
Right.
bet a 15 to 1 shot.
That's
They all
my-
kind of look the
that's-
same.
I liked the horse on the outside. When that horse scratched, I decided to go rogue.
The
here.
leak's starting to lug out a little bit here. You notice this?
It's coming towards me.
No, it's more water on my side.
Oh, good.
Over there.
Good. I thought it was coming over here more because I talked to Glenn and I told him to move it more to you. Big scratch in race number 8, which is a super race and also in the cross country Big 5. It's probably the most interesting race in the sequence, not to knock the stakes out of town, which are good races. But so it feels to me like there's got to be a bit of a pace in this race. And since you have Scacciatore on top, we'll show the running with scissors, Scacciatore Bronx Bomber race. Here's my concern with Scacciatore. And he ran well last time. Isn't he better on the engine?
Probably.
And with the speeds in this race between Bust and Timberlake, Writer's Regret, Reggae Music Man, how are they not going to be moving a little bit up front? And he doesn't rate to be part of the pace. And I do think he ran well enough to win this race last time. Don't get me wrong.
You know, if he can, and it's a big if, but if he can not lose too much contact with the first 2 or 3.
Well, he's got Mr. Aggressive on him.
Yeah, that's
aggressive.
That's the big issue here, right? His pilot is the big issue here, and I picked him anyway because, truth be told, with 7 Lilies out of here, save that one Boston Timberlake performance back in February of last year.
You can't rely on it.
You can't rely on that race.
He has second up a layout for Charlie Baker.
Scacciatore has the 2 races on his card.
I'm not going to disagree with any of that, Anthony. I got no argument with that. I just worry about the dynamics.
I really thought about Bronx Bomber today.
He just doesn't win.
He just doesn't win.
He's never been able to win rating.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you something else about him. He's not impossible. Remember this. I think you've forgotten this because we talked about it in the show. The Saratoga Pal race, where everybody was talking about the trouble that Bronx Bomber had. And he had some trouble in that race, no doubt. But so did Money in the Bank. And we talked about it that day on Talking Horses, and I know you agreed with me. Money in the Bank ran the better race because he was closer to the monster pace that collapsed. So not only did he have a little trouble in the stretch too, but he was right on top of the quick pace that collapsed, whereas Bronx Bomber was taking advantage of it the same way the winner, Saratoga Pal, did. So the last time he ran, he got caught in that huge speed track. He actually didn't even run that badly in there, and he was totally out of his game. I think Money in the Bank is very, very dangerous in today's race. I'm not saying he's going to win. This is a tough race. What about Double Shot? You know, he's a big price in here. I know he beat nobody last time, but if you think there's pace in this race, it's a horse that's run figures in the low 80s. Why can't this horse get, with a big fast pace, can't get an 85 or 86
I feel
and be
like there's
competitive
3
here?
or 4. I feel like there's 3 or 4 horses in here you could say that about. He's certainly one of them. He is certainly one of
Well, he's
them.
going to be a price.
Yeah.
How about Jackie Davis back to back?
They get down on that double.
Other horses in here to talk about. I mean, running with scissors, obviously ran well 2 back. I just don't, you know, to be fair to running with scissors, to be fair to him, he got involved in a pretty strong duel with What Do You Think Now last time. I mean, T Loves a Fight. You know, okay, T Loves a Fight, his last win, 10-10-19.
Yeah, we talked about
but he picks up Dylan Davis,
Yep.
and if you think this race is going to fall apart, you telling me he can't win or get a big piece of it?
You know, it's funny. They probably felt like they were getting some class relief. Well, he ran them in the last. You kind of thought you'd get a hope for an easier spot. They probably have a tougher spot than they found for him. In the
Yes,
last 2
but
events.
last time the inside was good, and that was a race that was completely and totally dominated in the front end. Now, I'm not saying the pace won't hold up here, but there is pace on paper. So I'm not sure his performance that bad. I think there is a concern with him that his form is tailing off.
Remember his first trainer?
Yeah, Mike Hushin. Yeah. Come on. He won the Mike
took a
Lee.
shot.
He won the Mike Lee. I picked him.
Won the
It
Mike
was about
Lee.
20 years ago.
Oh, there we go.
They got hair.
5 years. It was 5 years ago. He's an 8-year-old now.
Feels like it could have been longer.
Crazy. 5 years.
Everybody's sense of timing or sense is lost because of the pandemic.
The COVID, yeah.
Yeah. So you think things are longer. So anyway, race number 9, Cicada. There's nobody in the Cicada that you feel confident is going to win the test, but I feel confident that there are good horses in here. And I think it's one of the more evenly matched races we've run. I'm going to start with the horse I have on top, Rosebud, who I like. We'll take a look at her breaking her maiden in the slop. excuse me, I have 2 opinions on her. I believe that she is a talented sprinter, number one, and she was way against the track last time. That was, first of all, she's not a 1 1/8 horse, but second of all, she was chasing wide the entire way on a super, super gold rail. So she is dressed down from that race. I like her. There are other good horses in here, but I like this filly. I think she could be okay, and I prefer her in this spot.
Okay.
You've got her third.
Yeah, I got a third.
No, I don't want to take a strong position against anyone in this race.
It's hard to.
I mean, I'll be a little surprised if Lady Milagro wins. We'll get to her.
Sweet Soler would probably surprise me as well.
Well, we'll get to her in a second too. Sorry, I'll put these in the middle, and you can see which. I just tried to sort of randomly set it.
Gotcha, okay.
Let's look at Lady Scarlet. I mean, you're going to be surprised when this filly wins. I mean, I don't know where her. I mean, you could say I don't know where her last came from. She did run second as the 3-2 favorite behind Echo Zulu in her second start.
Yeah, and I mean, the second start of her career, like you said, that was a big fig. 3 starts back in the slop, she ran well. So I think that's what my issue is. I think my biggest issue with her is her 2 biggest figs, when you take the Echo Zulu race out of there, have come over wet tracks.
But so what? The Echo Zulu race, you can't just say that and throw the No, stop! It was a good track.
You can say that.
You can, but everybody at home's going, please, Anthony, stop. So that horse can win.
She's not that she can't win.
You missed the boat at 18-1 last
time.
Yeah,
you won her at a fifth the price. I don't think I do.
Well, I think she's very dangerous in here. I won't be shocked when she runs well.
David made the morning line 5-2 to 6-1 for a reason, right? They're all.
He's right.
They can all win.
What about Manchin?
I like Manchin. So I like Manchin.
There you go.
I liked Manchin's debut a lot. This is she's winning in a common gallop here. I mean, Joel Rosario's aboard this day. Dylan Davis going to ride today. He keeps it to her business, but she goes to the lead from the outside draw, and she just keeps going. She's running as fast as the rest of these horses 7 months ago. The fact that she ran as well as she did first time out, I think kind of negates a little of the trepidation you have with her off the layoff. Even with this guy training her. Yeah, I mean, this guy
is the worst. Do you have like a dartboard with his picture on it?
No, I wore the picture out already. So, and the dartboard.
Get a new one.
I've replaced the picture.
I'm doing a podcast with Dave Lyon for Blue Lion.
That's awesome.
So he'll be cursed after he spent time around me.
Absolutely.
But and I'll tell you something else about this horse. This horse beat a good horse. This horse beat Morning Matcha, who's a nice horse who ran very well to be second. Yeah. So and there's nothing wrong with that rate. No. I've got this horse third, and I could have picked this horse on top, and I'm not. And now, are you concerned about her getting involved? The next horse we'll look at, Lady Milagro, because Lady Milagro's going. Eric knows to go with her.
She's going to have to. Manchin's going to have to sit off of her.
She ran last time, Lady Milagro. There is an argument. The track got inside-y late, but those are kind of dubious arguments because we've seen it seem like that, and then it's turned out it wasn't the case. I'm not convinced. I don't know what to say. She ran last time.
Yeah, she ran, and Manchin is going to have to show an ability to rate today. I don't think she can make the lead over her unless she comes back that fresh from the 7 months.
And maybe she can stalk her. I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that she can't. I think if I felt confident that she was the controlling speed, I would have liked her more. Not that I'm against her. I'm really not against anyone here. And I'll tell you the truth. You say you don't like Sweet Solari. Well, why? I mean, Sweet Solari was bet strongly. She was a shorter price. We'll take a look at Exaltress breaking her maiden. She was a shorter price than Exaltress in this race. While she didn't run that well, she was a much different horse in the second start. And don't give me the sloppy track.
I'm not going to, but
because they bet this horse. No, because they bet this horse first time.
What I'm going to tell you is she was able to. I know she went fast the first quarter, but she was able to get. She was able to put the other speed away, and
because she was better than the field.
But it was a day where I think you wanted to be in front.
It was not, but that's okay. It wasn't.
The second horse is an Eddie Barker trainee who's run second 4 in a row now.
It was a day where the rail was good early. Mitigated by the fourth race, so it's hard. I probably prefer Exaltress, the way Chad Brown's horses are running.
Yes.
Having said that, I'm not convinced it was Exaltress that much horse because she won last time. She got a 64 by her. Now, is it a better race because the other ones came back better? No, she's the only one that came back and ran better. The others did not.
No.
So I think it's Sweet Solari. I'm not saying I particularly like Sweet Solari, but I don't know that she has a big edge on Exaltress. Maybe Exaltress will improve. All right, listen, they liked Exaltress first time.
Yes, they did.
But, you know, she didn't show it with a fast performance in her second start. And this is a tough field. Race number 10. Let's do in race number 10.
We have I believe we have the same 4 horses in the
Wow,
mishmash, yeah.
sort of embarrassing.
I
You went to
where
TT.
else? I went to TT's first there. Dan was 1 for 22. Not much else
Those
to say.
four
This horse was
foals
down.
could really run.
Yeah,
I think actually I beat one of them in a foot race.
When it's I don't even bother
Hoof race.
wasting the ink. It's just blank on the other side of the pedigree.
First time stars and maiden claimers in the dirt. 4 for 12 for Jorge Abreu. He's 3 for 10 with sprinters, 261 ROI.
I did not know any of those, but thank you. That helps my. That gives me
You
a
didn't
little
know
bit, a smidgen of. I mean,
you didn't know?
Can you have any confidence in him? I want to close to the
He's a
4
cop-out
horses.
pick. I get it.
Yeah,
but
I want to close to the 4 horses we have on the screen, and that's really. if
I want to
somebody
bet
else
on
wins, I
Tasty
lose.
Wave.
Okay.
Because it's really a hunch play because of my surfer days. I'm thinking of Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
There's not
Let's look at
enough
Tasty
money to
Wave
see you
will get
surf.
completely and totally schnookered and taken out of the race here and drop
Schnookered?
back. That's a fair. I like that word, right?
I didn't know there was an H in it. I thought it was just snookered.
Whatever. Go away. It's the number 8 here. And they come over. I mean, this horse gets, you could have seen if you weren't looking at your phone, but then again, why would you ever want to look at a replay? This horse was badly bumped and bothered coming out of the gate. And we could show it again for Anthony if you want.
I saw it.
No, you didn't. But don't lie to me. I'm sitting right here. This is an interesting horse in here. And in a race, and I agree, obviously the 9 is dangerous in here, but as you say, there's no pedigree on that horse.
None.
And, I mean,
I didn't know the exact numbers. I just remember that Abreu had decent enough numbers with the firsters. So
No, I know, you know.
I mean,
He's
the
won
rest
with
of these, but I mean, there's just no form here.
yeah. No, I agree. This horse is interesting. This horse ran against a better field. Trinity Tolly could actually win that race earlier and is definitely going to do better than the other Rudy horse in that race. I can't believe you copped out on that. You didn't even have the money and you copped out on that. Couldn't you bet me one? This is really
Go ahead, I'll bet you one lunch. Leave me alone.
No, you don't have to bet. I'm just teasing you.
We split yesterday, right?
We did. A blanket finish, actually.
Yeah.
Our horses. It was actually that was like an exciting route in that race. That was an interesting race, actually, because the winner ran well. She stumbled to start, but in stumbling, it kept her out of the pace, and it ended up working well for her. The horse that ran very well in there, and defeat was the Clement horse of the
I
rail.
was alive in both pick 5 yesterday. I got beat by Chase. I bet small tickets. I got beat by Chase and Bryn, who I bet last time.
Well,
and I got
how did
beat-
you? But allowing
I
yourself
made
to
a
get beat by
small-
Jason Briggs more
I made
on.
a small ticket.
But it paid good. You liked you were right against a heavy
The 2 to
favorite.
5. How about
You
this
left
one?
out of the favorite in the race.
How about my 4th pick in the last race was my man Jimmy Ryerson. I left the horse out.
It was my 4th pick.
$762.
Yeah, but the problem with it as a 4th pick was it was a distant 4th pick.
It was right. The 3rd pick was here and the 4th pick was
I
here.
mean, I guess it's one of those horses. If you looked at the race again, and we got to go, that horse was more interesting after the race than before.
Yep. Red board special.
Head on over to Naira Bets. You're not a member of Naira Bets. And thanks, Anthony. A lot of fun today. Great card. Looking forward to it. I know you are as well.
Maggie's here for you tomorrow.
Stakes 200. Maggie's filling in tomorrow. Excellent. I will be out. I'll be sleeping. Stakes 200. Use the promo code Stakes 200. Match Naira Bets. What else do we have, Anth? We got the 10K. We got the pick 5s Anthony mentioned earlier. Head to the website, Naira Bets. Check it out. Anthony's got picks for all of those.
Tickets.
So check
Tickets for all of them up.
tickets.
Yep.
Excellent.
Tickets,
Check those out. Check those out. It's at NairaBets.com. Easy to find. Here is the slate for the cross country Big 5. You've got the Tampa race 10. You've got the 2 race at Aqueduct, sandwiched around the 2 stakes at Oakland. They'll all 5 be shown on America's Day at the Races. America's Day at the Races. You say 3:30 to 7. Greg and I will be upstairs entertaining. We're done. That was fun. Good card.
See you
This is the best
Fantastic.
card we've had in
100 betting
this
interest.
is the best card we've had in a long time. Looking
Go get
forward
'em,
to it.
everyone.
Yeah, get involved.
Knock 'em dead
Good
today.
cards today. I think there's opportunities for some prices on today's cards. And maybe the shortest price of the entire day was scratch in the first race. How's that?
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Chris Griffin up next with the replies, scratches and changes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Live Racing at Aqueduct. The track is fast, 29 minutes away from race number 1. Here are today's scratches and changes. Race 1 is the start of the early pick 5. Scratch the 4, Bold Victory. The 7, Question My Sense.